What is going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Lawrence Henderson, and we're back, finally back with another episode of Hot Takes, where we're always seeking to be humble, open, and transparent. And I have an amazing coach, an amazing leader to introduce to the world that I'm so pumped to interview. I have Dr. Kimberly Anderson here with me. Kimberly, what is going on?
Oh, everything. And thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, Coach. And so just really quick to get people acclimated, Kimberly, let the people know who you are and what you do these days.
Okay, my name is Dr. Kimberly Anderson, and I work for the DeKalb County School District. I'm a regional coordinator. In that role, we serve 18 schools where we support the principals, assistant principals, teachers, students, and parents. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So that is, I know you do some amazing work. As somebody who is married to an educator, I understand the breadth, depth, and stress that can be involved in all of that. But today we are having a coach leader conversation because as a certified professional coach, I know how hard you work at crafting and honing that craft of coaching to support those leaders in those 18 schools and in the community that you're doing some more work at Spelman College, aren't you?
Yes. I was doing some work last semester as a leadership coach where I helped the students to just get to know themselves and look at how to network and build their resume and just what it takes to find a job in the future and develop themselves and look at their brand.
Yeah, I like that. And as I was preparing for this call, and I love teeing up different questions, but you actually selected an interesting topic, and I want to dig into it a little bit. And you talked about, you wanted to talk about moving beyond fear in your comfort zone to reach your goals. What does all that mean?
Moving my comfort zone to reach my goals. Oh, wow. That is a huge step for me because I really do not like being in the forefront. I like, kind of working behind the scenes. I'm a hard worker and, I like supporting people. So moving my comfort zone to take next steps to be out in front is something that's really hard for me, but I know it's necessary to be able to help, provide the help that I want to provide for people in the future. So that's what it means. Just putting myself out there, doing different things, doing something new, even though it's scary, just getting past the scary and just getting out there.
Yeah. And it's funny as you think about, at this, stage in your career and all that you've accomplished all these amazing things. And here you are working with these young professionals at Spelman. As you talk about facing your fears and leaning into those scary moments, why is that so important for a person to be able to do?
Well, it's very important because one, you have a gift inside of you that you have to that's there for you to be able to give to others. And if you're scared and you do not take a chance, then no one will be able to see what you have to do. And as I look at, God gave me these gifts, and then I'm not holding up my end of the bargain if I am not getting out there giving these gifts to others. And so you really can do this and also other people are nervous too and scared too, but they're out there doing it anyway, so you can be out there doing it just like them. But you have a gift inside of you, and you have to be able to give it to others, but you have to get over your fears to do it. And you can do it.
Yeah. No, there's one speaker that I remember listening to, and their thing was just do it scared, regardless of, particularly. And I love what you said. Again, that gift that's on the inside of us. That again, so in some cases, in most cases, actually, you're the only person that could gift it to the world, and you have this thing about you knowing and having your voice. When you think about this season of life for you, what does your voice sound like?
Oh my goodness. I'm still finding my voice, to be honest with you. I am still finding my voice, but it sounds like um I want to make a difference in the world. It sounds like that I have a lot of different experiences inside of me that I want to be able to give to others. Just even looking back to my younger self and seeing where I am today, I've accomplished so much. And I don't always think about those things. And that's part of, that's part of it, that I don't always think about what I do. I just do it. Um, but my voice sounds like supporting others, helping others to be good leaders, helping others to be able to reach their goals and to be able to look inside of themselves and pull those things out, those things that they didn't even know that they had in them. That's what my voice is. My voice says, be strong, go out into the world and make a change.
I love that. I love that because again, I think that you being able to position yourself to support somebody as they're navigating what all this looks like for them, particularly all the things that we've been navigating through over the last several years, and then you being your career in education and really being a support system for a lot of folks. And now as a coach, how do you help someone identify what's in the way as it pertains to fear?
Yeah, so you have to help them self-reflect and ask those powerful questions to get them thinking about certain things and getting them to look at different perspectives and getting to them to look at different experiences that they've had to help them move to the next level. And with you being able to ask them questions and getting them to reflect, that helps.
Yeah. And again, and I always, anytime somebody says the word reflect, I
Yeah.
think about, looking in that mirror, right? And sometimes it's hard to look inside of that mirror. And,
Yeah.
and so how do you help someone begin to build up that strength to be reflective? Because that can be scary sometimes.
It can be scary, but that's where the coach comes in to help the person, because even though it's scary, it's like you may not be physically holding their hands, but you're holding their hands based on the type of questions that you ask and based on how you're supporting them and helping them to think through. And then you're also building that trust and relationship with them where they know that they can trust you and they know that you're there for them. So then it becomes less and less scary for them to be able to look inside. Also, you're helping them to set goals and, softly holding them accountable, holding them accountable on the side to get them to be able to reach those goals. And as they reach one goal, then they see they can reach another goal and another goal and another goal. And then the next thing you know, they look back and they're like, oh my God, I cannot believe how much I have accomplished. And so just building that trust and relationship with them and knowing that you are really listening
Mm-hmm.
to them and not judging. That's huge too. You can't judge
Mm-hmm.
them. So knowing that you're not judging, you're listening, you're there for them, and that you'll be there for them again and again and again. And then they see the growth in themselves before they even know it, that is there. And so that helps right there.
I love that. I love that because as you were describing that, what it was sounding like as you get people to give themselves permission to take these next steps, it's really them coming face to face with some, like, determining some barriers and obstacles and how to navigate them. Like how,
Yes.
and when you think about how getting somebody past that barrier, right? Because again, if you thinking this person is already fear, there's something that keeps them from achieving this goal in the first place or not overcoming that obstacle. How do you get people to move past and make that, like as you say, the boogeyman smaller?
Exactly. That is again where the coach comes in, because some things are blind spots to people. They don't realize that those things are there, and you help to shine a light on it. And again, as you are being non-judgmental with working with the people, they are, all those scary things start to melt away, because again, you're not physically holding their hand, but you're there for them to support them, and they see through you and how you're working with them that they can overcome some of these barriers, again reflecting on themselves, and then step by step making reaching different goals, even if it's that next best step. As you ask them, well, what is the next best step that you can take that you feel comfortable with? And then they jump out there, and then when you come back and you talk to them and say, what happened when you took that next best step? I felt so good. I felt so good inside. And, maybe they still didn't reach whatever it is that they were trying to reach at that time, but they took that next best step. So now they know that they can take it again, because at the end, they were still alive. They were still breathing, and you were still there to support them to take the next step. And so then they can, take another best step and another one. And then next thing you know, it's like old hat, because it's practice. Just like I heard some wise person say, it's all about the reps. It's all about the reps. So it's all about the reps for them too.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, it's about giving yourself permission to practice, right? And as you lean into, okay, the reframe of it all, right? Like we say in coaching, is you make that boogeyman smaller, right? And again, it's in that reframe. And so with those, reps and all the rest of those things, when you begin to see a client really lean into their strength and the things that are important to them, like, how does that make you feel as a coach?
Wow, it makes me feel so good. And even though, I feel really good about it, I, give it back to the client. And I let them know, this was you. You are the one who gave yourself permission. You were the one who dug in. You came up with these things. I may have asked you some questions to probe your thinking, or to get you thinking about things in a different way. But all of those answers were in you in the first place, and you were strong enough to be able to pull them out of yourself. So, but I am very excited and happy, and it keeps me encouraged and motivated and wanting to do more.
Yeah, and it's funny that I love how you say I give it back to them. And that, and in coaching and with clients, sometimes, I always, as we talked, and was like, ask them that question, like, hey, did you hear just what you said?
Yes.
And how sometimes, like you said, before people can get to that point where they're conscious about a lot of things, they're not even conscious of the words they're using or the experiences that they're sharing with us, and giving that gift back to them of, like, no, I did say that. I do have some expertise, and just seeing them light up, similar to this little light bulb right here, and just seeing them gain access to all that amazing expertise that they have. And so for you, when you help your clients, how do you get them to really begin focusing on their strengths?
Well, sometimes I start off with a survey to get them to reflect before I even talk to them, so that we could so they can reflect first before we start talking. There are sometimes I may have them do an assessment so that they can come up with their strengths, and then we look at them and talk about them, and we see how those strengths show up in some of the things that they do, some of the examples that they provide. So that comes with that deep listening that you have to do, because sometimes those strengths are kind of hidden in things that they don't even realize. And then you're able to ask questions around those and pull those out. And then as they see those strengths that they didn't know they had, that helps. But just continuing to build on what it is that they do, and showing them, pointing those strengths out to them, and helping them to, or them setting and monitoring some of the goals that they have, and finding other people that they can even help hold them accountable to that. Those helps with building their strengths.
I love that, right? And then again, it takes on this phrase that we all grew up with. It takes a village. Means that it doesn't stop at childhood and at youth. It's a continuous quote, if you will.
Exactly.
Right. And so when you think about where you are in this season of life,
Mhm.
why choose coaching now for yourself?
Well, I feel like because of my background in education and my leadership experiences, I feel like it's the next best step for me in order to give back to others all the skills that I have developed over time. I have experience in people development and um, change management. All of those things that I can pull together to help to develop a person, because I feel like it's my at this point in my life, I have so many experiences and so much inside of me. I'm at the point now where I have to, I'm at the end of my career. So I'm 29 years into my career and I'm about to retire very soon. And so now I'm at the point where I want to be able to give back to others. And so that just seems like when you think about your next best step, that's my next best step, because, even though I won't be in working in the educational arena like I do now, I'm, still where I'm promoting growth in people, development in people, providing people encouragement, helping them to reflect and dig into themselves. So I see it as the next best step for me to continue to give back to others to help them grow and develop. I'm an educator at heart, and I will always be that way.
I and I was about to tell you, I was like, you're not stepping away. It's not a retire, it's a refire
Yes,
in another direction. And like you said, it's you now being able to do education in a different way
yes,
through coaching, right? And I think everything you've described up to this point, coach, is really you being on your own journey, right? You showing others like, hey, I'm drinking my Kool-Aid first. I'm
yes,
not going to tell you to take your first next step without me actually being active in what that looks like for me. And so kudos to you already identifying it and begin actively working in that. And so when you think about where you are, who is it that you want to serve in this new refire season of your life?
Well, there's a couple of people that I want to serve. So I'm looking at wanting to serve principals, um, people who want to become leaders, maybe assistant principals and teachers. And I'm most passionate about serving students. So I would still like to do some type of leadership development or co with students. So those three areas: people development, leadership development, principals, and students. So I have to figure out how I can um, get to working with the students, probably at the high school level,
Mhm.
and helping them to really look at themselves. And because I think that's missing, the self-reflection and them being able to teaching them skills on how to coach themselves so that they can go out into this world and be able to make good, strong decisions on how to navigate their lives.
Mhm.
So I think I'm most passionate about that,
Mhm.
but those areas.
I love that. I love that. And again, you already started digging into, kind of that you constantly in serve mode, right? Constantly in serve mode. And I love that ability to give someone with the opportunity to self-manage and serve themselves when coaches aren't around, right? That's the greatest gift we can give to a client is, hey, them build up the capacity to continue on after a coaching engagement is over, and to be able to give that to a
Yes,
younger group.
yes,
And I was just actually reading an article it was a couple weeks ago as a part of one of my assignments, where it was talking about there was a case study being developed of coaching being introduced, just how you're doing at Spelman. There's actually an article about introducing coaching earlier in a young person's life, and how impactful that has been. And so for you, I mean, you got clients out there right now that didn't know you existed, that like, Coach Kim, where you been all my life?
yes.
Yeah, so you got a huge population who's looking for you. And so when you think about why choose Coach Kim, what is it you want people to know about your style and you as a coach?
Well, one, I want them to know that I'm passionate about people. I'm passionate about helping to grow and develop people. I'm passionate about giving people the opportunity to self-reflect. I'm passionate about helping people to think for themselves and be able to coach themselves, and just pouring into people, just like people poured into me. People poured into me in every aspect of my life. And I'm even thinking about starting with my grandmother and how she poured into me and who she was as a person, and how she always, you know, she started as a janitor at her job and moved all the way up to, let's call it, the district office. So that level where she trained people and gave back, and always talked to me about education. And that person, just seeing her and traveling back in the 40s and 50s, to be able to travel out of the country, that was kind of unheard of at that time, especially for a woman. So an African American woman at that. But she's always been a role model to be able to give back and show me that that's who I need to be. And though all of those things that she put inside of me make me want to give back to others, to be a person who is respectful of a person's values and being able to take who they are, even if a person is broken person, to be able to then look at themselves and be able to know that there's somebody pouring into them, and they help them to then pour into themselves and move on to the next level. That's what I see.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful. So y'all, if you're watching this, whether it's live or this the hashtag replay, you make sure that if you're looking for a coach, somebody who is going to be in it to win it with you, got Coach Kim waiting and ready for you. So I want people to be able to find you, Coach. How can they quickly connect with you, find you across the interwebs?
Well, right now they can email me.
Mm-hmm.
They can email me at Coach Anderson 4868 at gmail.com. Coach Anderson 4868 at gmail.com.
I love that. Coach, thank you so much for spending this little bit of time letting the folks get to know you. And of course, folks, reach out to Coach Kim. Definitely share this with your friends. If you hear about somebody who is looking for a coach, somebody who needs another dynamic speaker or leader, trainer, or consultant to support their district, please reach out to Coach Kim. And so, Coach, any last words for the people before we end today's episode?
I'm just focused on change. I focus on concentrating on human development to support self-awareness for the achievement of personal goals by navigating growth and empowerment.
And on that mic drop, folks, continue to be well. Thank y'all so much for tuning in again and again. Sharing is caring. So continue to support the Hot Takes podcast and these live episodes across all platforms. Until next time, folks, be well.